So why take control of our finances? Well, taking control of your finances can help you understand what is most important in your life, understand what drives your financial decisions, focus on accomplishing your goals, and by doing more, you can achieve more, and ultimately prepare yourself to become more financially resilient as you grow. Your financial wellness is even shown to be linked to your mental and physical wellness. Improving your financial well-being will improve your overall well-being. When you feel you don't have control over your finances, it can be stressful. And stress has real consequences for your mental and physical health. So today, let's talk about building your financial roadmap. We'll talk about values and goals and how to develop an actionable plan. Your values is an important place to start when building your financial roadmap. Most of the financial decisions we make are driven by our values, like health, happiness, and security. For example, if you value health, you may spend money on yoga classes or fitness equipment. If you value creativity, you may spend money on art supplies or art classes for your children. And if you value freedom, you may spend money on a vehicle or vacations. When I was 12 years old, I started asking my parents for a swimming pool. At that time, discussing finances wasn't common, especially with children. And looking back, I'm sure my parents couldn't afford a luxury item like a pool at that time. So my parents just always kept saying no. For the next 5 years, I asked them every summer, and the answer was always the same, no. Finally, the year I graduated high school, I looked at my parents somewhat defiantly and said, when I go out on my own, I'm going to have a pool. So let's fast forward a few years. I had a young son and was going through a divorce and moved back to New Brunswick from Ontario. I started a new job and was living with my parents to help gain control of my finances. That same year, I saved enough money to buy a small 12-foot round inflatable pool that my parents let me set up in their yard. My son and I splashed and played in that pool for hours daily, and then every few years I would save and buy the next size up. Until about 6 years ago, I was able to install a permanent pool at my home. I share this story for two reasons. First, deciding what you want to save and spend your money on, or what you value, is a very personal decision. And if it is something that you really want, that can be an amazingly positive motivator to work towards. Even though it took me many years to achieve, I was able to eventually buy the pool I always wanted. And second, and this was an even bigger lesson for me, I got the same joy and wonderful memories from that little 12-foot pool as I do from my current one. Finding ways to have that same fun in the water and joy with my son with the financial means that I had at the time made me realize that no matter what my financial situation was throughout my life, I could find ways to fulfill my values without going into unnecessary debt. So take time to consider what's important to you and what you want your money to help you achieve before deciding how to manage your money. Some questions to ask yourself are, what brings me meaning and pleasure in my life? What do I consider priceless? What do I care most deeply about? And what do I stand for? Who are the most important people in my life? And what is the purpose of money in my life? So consider your own childhood memories and adult behavior and how those impact your values. When you spend money or make investment decisions, you might actually be repeating the actions of your parents and family members without considering if those actions work for you. In fact, you might be imitating behaviors that you don't even agree with. So now that you've figured out what's important to you, you can start to set financial goals and create a plan to achieve them. Goals are accomplishments you work towards that fulfill your values. Some examples include saving $300 in 10 months for Christmas, saving $1,000 in a year for an emergency fund, saving $10,000 in 10 years for your child's education. making a down payment of $2,500 on a vehicle in 2 years, saving $5,000 for a family vacation in 5 years, retiring in 15 years with an income of $50,000 a year for at least 20 years. By listing your short and long-term goals and aligning them with your values, you might discover spending habits that make it difficult or impossible to accomplish your goals. Understanding how these expenses impact your goals will make it easier for you to justify cutting back or eliminating them. Make sure the financial goals you set are SMART, or S-M-A-R-T. When setting your goals, ask yourself, S, are my goals specific? For example, I want to save $1,000 to buy a new computer. I researched what I need and can find one in that price range. M, are my goals measurable? I will put $20 a week into my savings account to achieve this goal. A, are my goals attainable? After reviewing all my expenses, I can put $20 per week aside to achieve this goal. R, are my goals realistic? I can make this goal happen with the resources and plan that I have made. And T, is it possible to reach my goals within a certain timeline? So by saving $20 per week for 50 weeks, that would give me $1,000. So I could save it in a little less than 1 year. Our goals should also help us become financially resilient. Ask yourself, do my goals prepare me for unforeseen circumstances or potential challenges in life? Once you have set your goals, the next step is to make a plan to achieve them. What specific steps do you need to take? Your plans are essentially the financial baby steps that you take every day towards achieving your goals. By writing down these plans, it will be easier to visualize yourself achieving your goals and fulfilling your values. So remember my pool example? Some may take longer to reach their goals than others, and it's important to remember that everyone has their own journey, and what you are saving for can be very different from your friends, family, and colleagues. Our financial choices are dependent on many varying factors: income level, personal expenses and obligations, even your family structure. This means that there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach to setting goals. When I was saving for my pool, I put more money aside when my expenses were lower and less when my expenses were higher. Reviewing your goals regularly can help you determine if what you are saving for is still important to you. If adjustments or changes are needed, well, that's okay. Don't forget to revisit your plans to update them as your circumstances change. So a roadmap can help you better understand your spending habits and where you can make improvements in the way you spend money. If your bank account shows a long list of mysterious late-night withdrawals and spontaneous small-ticket items, it might indicate that your spending habits need to be monitored and perhaps adjusted. A roadmap can help you focus on the things you value in life and ensure your spending habits line up with these values. Your roadmap can help you determine the best ways to budget your money to fulfill your values, whether it's for personal expenses like going out for dinner or the more necessary things like loan payments, rent, or transportation. Your financial roadmap will help you build and maintain a budget. This will allow you to work towards the goals you have set for yourself. Your financial roadmap will help you to visualize your short and long-term goals and get you thinking about steps you can take today to help you reach those goals. While helping you to better understand yourself, a financial roadmap is a great tool for open communication between you, your partner, and the important people in your life. Share your financial roadmap with your loved ones so they can better understand your financial motivations. With everything out in the open, there will be fewer surprises along the way.